What's up, witches? Welcome back to the channel. And if you're new, welcome. So, as you can see, it is nighttime when I'm filming this. Sorry I haven't filmed since Monday. It's been a crazy week, so let's go with that. So, how is everybody doing? Um, we're going to talk about Yule and what it is. I'll be reading from my notes. I wrote some notes. It's an ancient Germanic and Norse winter festival celebrating the winter solstice, marking the shortest day in the rebirth of the sun, which symbolizes new beginnings, rebirth, the return of the light, and warmth. Celebrated by Wiccans and pagans, traditions include feasting, burning a Yule log, decorating with evergreens, caroling, and gift giving, many of which influence modern Christian customs. The key aspects of Yule is the timing. It occurs around December 21st, which is the winter solstice. It can be a one-day event or last for 12 days, depending on where you live and whatever, and how you celebrate. It celebrates the longest night of the year and the rebirth of the sun in the morning. The cycle of nature of life, death, and rebirth. So some traditions are a Yule log. I will leave a link down below in my description on how I make my Yule log. It's an older video, but I'll leave a link to it down in the description. So, burning a large log, often decorated, symbolizing warding off misfortune and bringing good luck for the new year. Also, decorations, evergreen, holly, ivy, mistletoe, wreaths, bells represent enduring life during winter, so on and so forth. Also, the evergreens, because they say evergreen. Feasting and merriment, dancing, caroling, gift giving are all common. Modern practices today it's a significant. In modern practice, it's a significant holiday in Wiccan and neo-paganism, observed as one of the 8 Sabbats of the Wheel of the Year. Its roots are Norse and Germanic. The name Yule comes from the Norse Yule, a midwinter festival among Germanic peoples, says history. It also has a Roman influence. Some traditions may relate to the Roman festival of Saturnalia. And in Christianity, the Christian holiday of Christmas later incorporated many Yule traditions. So, how do you celebrate Yule? Or do you celebrate Yule? I'm just reading through my notes that I wrote because I lost my place. So, for historical and modern pagans, Yule is a celebration, like, as I said, triumph of light over darkness and the continuation of the cycle of life. It's a time for reflection, renewal, and setting intentions for the upcoming year. Historically, the exact date varied, sometimes lasting for several days to even 2 months. Most people celebrate Yule on the day of the winter solstice, which will be the 21st or 22nd in the northern hemisphere. That's about all I have to say on that. Alright, so how do you celebrate Yule? What we do is I will leave a link down below on how I make my Yule log. I make the Yule log on the solstice. In the evening that night, I burn the Yule log. Now, how we do it is we put on little pieces of paper that we tuck into the log. You'll see on the video if you go watch it. And On one side of the log, we write something that we would like to release and get rid of. Maybe it's a bad habit. Maybe it's just something that's not serving you anymore. And then on the other side, we write on another piece of paper something that we wish to bring in to our life for the upcoming year. So for me, some people get like seasonal depression disorder. I do get that. And I think the celebration helps me realize, that during the winter in the northern part of the United States where I live is when our, seeds are sleeping. They're there. The trees are dormant, and they utilize this time to strengthen their roots. And, bulbs like tulip bulbs, that's what they're doing. They're strengthening their root while they sleep and go dormant to, bloom in the spring, leaves back in the spring, so on and so forth. So I try to incorporate that thought pattern that even though I don't, you know, enjoy the lack of sun in the winter, because it's the lack of sun that gets me down, I do try to remind myself, that it's temporary, that the sun will return, the warmth will return, and things will be good again. Now, some things you can do if you do get seasonal affective disorder, um, on a bright winter day, even if it's snowing, even if it's cold, if you have a porch or a stoop or someplace where you can get in the direct sunlight, go out into the direct sunlight, you know, for at least 5 or 10 minutes, even if it's cold, even if you have to wear a jacket, because it really does boost your mood. So some other things that I do personally in my spiritual practice is I refresh and or make witch balls. I have a video on that, and I will leave a link down below in the description. I'm sorry that you're shaking. I'm getting a new desk, so this won't happen. That won't happen anymore. It's not here yet. It's coming. It's one of my Christmas presents for my mother. So anyway, what was I saying? Oh, witch balls. You can look it up what it means. If you're here on the Witchy Wednesday, 9 times out of 10, you know what it is. But they're hung in the window for protection. You can make them for protection. You can make them to bring, abundance. Whatever. I do like a combination, like abundance of all things good. Allow good energy in. Trap the bad energy. Don't let it in. So protection, of course. And you can make them as pretty as you want, as decorative as you want, or you can make them so that they're hidden, however you want to do it. Anyway, like I was saying about the Yule log, we do burn that night, the longest night. And I do go to sleep that night because I have, I'm a caretaker. But I set my alarm for about an hour and a half before sunrise. And I get up and I make my coffee or my tea. And I go back out and restart the fire. And I sit there with my coffee. I don't care how cold it is. Or if it's raining, whatever. And I watch that sun come up. And, thank Mother Earth for bringing that sun back, and knowing that from this morning on, that the days will get longer again and the sun will return. And I'm thankful for that. So, how do you celebrate? I mean, this is going to be a short video. I love these. These are those flameless candles. Don't they look real? I have a cat, so cats and candles don't get along. I mean, I do burn candles downstairs because I can keep an eye, but I would never burn like what I'm doing now, filming and not really paying attention to a candle with my cat around, because curiosity killed the cat. But anyway, how do you celebrate? We also celebrate Christmas. I love Christmas. We my mom was born in Germany, so we usually celebrate our Christmas on Christmas Eve. We usually have a dinner, and the Christmas Eve morning, all the gifts are under the tree. It's been like that since I was a kid. That's how they celebrate. They're just there all day, and you gotta wonder, okay, you know, you know how it is when you're a kid. And then after dinner, we usually would have dinner around 4 o'clock. We'd have dinner, help my mom clean up, and my mom would say, "Now you got to go upstairs, take a bath, and put your new pajamas on." And we'd put our new PJs on, and we'd come down, and we would sit around, and we would open up all of our gifts and play and just celebrate and eat cookies and da 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 da. Because that was how they did it in Germany. And then we would put everything away. And then the next day, um, my mom always made ham, and so there would be ham left over the next day. We would usually have like a brunch in the morning, and then we would go visiting like our grandparents and my grandparents and great grandparents and uncles and whatever friends. That was Christmas Day we would visit. Or sometimes if the weather was really horrible, we would just veg out and play with our toys all day long because they were already open, and my parents could relax. I don't know. I like it that way. That's how I raised my kids. And now my son's family, they don't, they open theirs Christmas morning, and I'm fine with that. That's his wife's tradition, and he holds that up with her. And I love that for them. But they come here on Christmas Eve, and I gift exchange with my kids and grandkids on Christmas Eve day. So they get both days. So then the next morning, they get to open their gifts from Santa. That's how that works. Old Saint Nick, right? All right, guys. I'm talking your ear off. I'm sorry if you think this is boring, but I will leave the links down below for the Yule log and the witch balls if you're interested, and I do show you how to make them. Hopefully this video was okay. I hope you have a magical and blessed day, and remember, don't let anyone tame your spirit. Bye.